Hey guys, it's Damien. I've got a answer to a question. Actually, I'm going to do on this video. I had a question from a viewer that was asking about one of my Etsy videos in regards to shipping cakes and chocolates internationally. Now, of course, when you open yourself up to international shipping, there are some advantages. There's some great possibilities and opportunities to make more money because a lot of other countries will actually pay premiums for products from the U.S. But then there's a few things that are kind of drawbacks that you need to be aware of. I have been shipping through my Etsy store, as I mentioned on some of my other videos. I've gone to about 15 countries. It's probably more by now, but 15 countries so far, all over the place, with much of our items, our baked goods and cookies and nuts and snacks. There's a few things to keep in mind, though. Okay, I will start with the first part of the question, which was about cakes. Shipping cakes internationally, I personally don't do that. It's not saying that you can't, but I don't do that. And here's a few reasons why. Number one, the types of frostings or coatings that you put on a cake. It could be chocolate, it could be frostings, it could be a buttercream. There's numerous styles and types of coatings. It's very, very difficult going through the shipping process and having it inspected and such once it gets to the other countries. A lot of times boxes are opened and inspected. In some cases, they're randomly pulled or they just go through mass inspections. They don't necessarily always stay sealed. It depends on the country. There's a lot of factors. It depends on how the different countries import products as far as orders to family members, or if it's bulk business shipping, if it's big exporters, et cetera, et cetera. So when it comes to that, what ends up happening is that you may have somebody, as they inspect it, could be damaging or going through the cake, and it could get damaged in the process. The biggest factor is actually time. When it comes to the amount of time it takes to get, let's say, from the United States to Europe, the types of cakes that you could send and ship can initially stay frozen for a certain small period of time. But from that point on, even with ice packs, they won't stay. Traditionally, the time frame is like a 5 to 10 business days to get a product from here to another country, and sometimes longer. So the freshness, the ability to get it there in one piece when it comes to cakes, keeping it at a certain temperature so it doesn't spoil. If you've got a frosting that has to stay at a certain temperature, in transit, it traditionally won't, because it's going to be exposed to a longer period without the temperature needed to keep it at that condition. So the icing could be mushy, the cake could get moved around. That's why I don't do that. And I would recommend, I would say honestly, stay away from shipping cakes internationally. That's just one factor. The other one is the weight and size. You could have a cake that's 9 inches, and I could ship it from, let's say, Florida to California for about $12, 9-inch cake, right? And I've got ice packs in that, and the weight of it, of course, the type of cake that it is going to depict the type of weight as you're going to deal with, okay? Some cakes that we have are like 4 pounds, but they're frozen, they're made fresh, they're frozen like a rock, and then we put ice packs around them. I ship them 2-day. So when it comes to shipping that type of cake from here to California in a 2-day transit time, that's kind of acceptable and it works, okay? But there's also a specific type of icing. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but there's certain types of icings that we use that freeze better, okay? So when it comes to shipping cakes and stuff, keep it domestically or keep it within the U.S. If you're viewing this video and you're outside of the U.S. and you want to ship products to the U.S. and you're thinking about cakes, I would honestly try to find something else to make, because it's going to be very difficult for you to ship that type of a product. So now the other thing is the question that I was given was also about chocolates. Okay, so if you're shipping chocolates internationally, there should be really nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of ways to do that and to keep them from either melting, from getting damaged. The packaging end of it, what I can do is on this video, I won't necessarily do it right now, but I will do a video that shows you how we ship chocolates or things that are chocolate. We have over, like I said, 400 plus items that we make. So there's a lot of different ways to pack different chocolate items. Chocolate pretzel rods, let's say, are packed differently than one of our large 2-pound bowls. We offer a 2-pound bowl of covered pretzels that are in chocolate. That's shipped different than, let's say, pretzel rods. And then we also have chocolate covered Oreos. Okay, so those are all shipped differently too. So the idea is the question is that yes, can you ship chocolates internationally? You can. Now the beautiful thing, the great thing about shipping chocolates is traditionally the size of the product. Let's say if it's like a truffle, if it's a little square, these sizes will actually help you in shipping because the smaller the product is individually and you put ice into it, it's going to keep the whole package much cooler and colder and then obviously intact. And then when it arrives to its destination, it's going to be, should be in perfect condition. And I'll also I'm going to show you a video, step-by-step video also on how to package smaller chocolates like truffles or a box of chocolates or a gift box. It's very, very simple. It wasn't very simple when I first started because I had to learn it on my own. And there was quite a few orders that were not exactly edible. But anyways, after I learned that and then I figured out how to actually do it, now I can do it within a matter of a few seconds. There's a technique that we use for that, and we've had no issues. Like I mentioned before, using Etsy, we've actually shipped chocolate pretzel rods to Singapore once, actually 3 times, to a customer there, and they turned out fantastic, which was kind of interesting. I've never actually shipped stuff there, but anyways. So the thing about the cakes, I would stay away from it. The other thing you got to keep in mind is when you ship to other countries, there are allowable products that are allowed to come into a country, and there are some that are not. And you need to be aware of that, especially with food, okay? Because if your product has a trace or part of it is produced with one of these ingredients that are not allowed, your product will get thrown into the trash or it will be sent back to you. I learned that kind of the hard way. When it comes to nuts specifically, there's a lot of countries that ban the import or the export of certain types of nuts. That is a huge thing. Every country is different, and you can actually go to the USPS website, the U.S. Postal website. There is a page within there. If you go to the search bar and type in list of unacceptable products, or actually go to USPS and you want to type in prohibited, there it is. If you type in prohibited foods, shipping internationally, those 4 words, the search engine will bring up information in regards to what can and cannot be shipped to other countries. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. And the reason why I say that is that if you're making a cake, let's say it's got almonds, walnuts, or something to that effect, and you decide to ship internationally, which I don't recommend, but if you do, and on the top, let's say you have almonds or crushed nuts, whatever it may be, that product will get stopped at the port and it will not be allowed to come in, and they will send it back to you or they'll throw it away. So I've had several lines. When I first started this business, I wasn't really educated in the international shipping of what can and can't go. So a lot of the products I was shipping, the customers weren't getting, and I was trying to figure out why is that. So then I Googled it and then just researched it and realized, hey, there are some food products that are not allowed in other countries. You got to be aware of that. You don't necessarily need to know every single one of them, because that would be nearly impossible, because the USPS website has every country broken down, and you click on the country and it's got pages and pages. There is a basic thing to understand that when it comes to food, a lot of times the things that are like red flags are nuts, shipping bulk of spices and things like that. When it comes to snacks, there's certain ingredients. So just take a look at the country, just be aware of it. I really haven't had any problems other than the few that I've shipped. So I think you'll be fine. So again, keep in mind, if you're going to do cakes, I do not recommend it. I've been doing this business, like I said, nearly 10 years online now. I've shipped to countries all over the place. I don't do that. Stay within the U.S., or if you're in Canada and you want to ship stuff within Canada, you can do it. Great idea. If you're in another country and you're trying to ship them overseas, just stay away from it. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so lastly, the one thing I wanted that was part of that question was, do I need to have some type of import or export license to do this? As a business, unless you're shipping like pallets and pallets of product, like the items that I get purchased through Etsy or let's say eBay, like one bag of nuts here or there, if you've got some snacks, if you're shipping onesie twosie items, the only thing that you need to do a declaration of was actually when you fill out the form on the USPS. Let's say, for instance, here's an example. On eBay, I sell a bag of granola, and it's to somebody in Europe. When I go to print the label, they know it's an international shipment. You're going to have a little declaration there, and all it is basically checking a box and declaring what is inside of it, and declaring that you're not some huge export-import business. You're shipping a product here and there. To my understanding, there is no need for that type of licensing. If you're shipping like 700 bags every single month to somebody in Dubai, or if you're going to South America or something like that, you will need to have special license to do that. And I will research that and get you the link for that type of licensing for import and export. But for instance, if you had shipped a product to a cousin and you sent her a birthday gift and it was some gummy bears, you just need to declare that on that receipt, the international shipping receipt, which you will see at checkout when you get a shipping label printed. Okay, so I do hope that helps you. And again, I don't want to deter you from doing whatever it is that you are passionate about doing. If you want to ship products internationally, just be aware of the few things that are so important when it comes to food, because everything else doesn't have an expiration date. If you're shipping a marker, obviously it doesn't matter. If you're shipping a temperature sensitive, a time sensitive, an expiration product that can expire, best by, it's best to eat a product by a certain date. Any type of food product that has an expiration, keep in mind temperature, time, and also what you can and cannot ship within that country, okay? Because if you don't, basically you're going to have just an upset customer and you're going to be wasting your time. My recommendation is things like, when it comes to salted nuts, trail mixes, things that are preserved, like pretzel rods that are covered in chocolate, obviously there's a best by date and expiration date. The quality of it needs to be consumed within a certain period of time, but you've got a longer shelf life on it. If it has ice cream sprinkles, if you've got rock candies like Jolly Ranchers and things like that, really sugary based sweets, really like rock candies, those types of things have a much longer shelf life, and they make for better transit time when you're shipping them overseas. So just keep that in mind. So I hope you like this video. If you do, like always, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Comment below if you have a question about a certain type of food product that you want to ship internationally and you're not sure. Ask me down below. I'd be more than happy to help you. I do have my second channel, Marketing Food Online 2. I do have that available, up and running. I am uploading videos gradually to that, and that channel actually has videos that are much more involved. They're going to be much more intense as far as information, and I'm going to be doing my series for every state for cottage kitchens, as well as things that are much more oriented towards search engine optimization when it comes to your food products on Amazon, eBay, and Etsy, how to create listings that are really, really going to get customers to help you, and basically product development, showing you how to package, label, who to talk to, who not to talk to, and companies that you can get in touch with to sell your food products. So check out that channel. It's Marketing Food Online, the number 2, and it is $12.99 a month, but you actually have direct access to me for email consulting, and I will answer your questions. I don't, unfortunately, get a chance to answer every question on this channel, but that one I do specifically have a setup email that you can talk directly to me. So thank you guys. I do hope that this video has helped, and I hope to see you on my next video. Thanks.